Welcome to another episode of the Greater Culture Podcast with our Meet the Member series. And today I'm excited to be joined by Laura Whipple, one of our staples at the morning class. So Laura, thanks for joining us on the podcast today.
Thank you for inviting me.
And I'm excited to hear a little bit about your journey and learn a little bit more about what your experience has been like here at Greater Culture. But for the folks who maybe don't know you, but tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, actually was born and raised in Colombia. Came here when I was 14. Pretty hard because I didn't know any word of English. So I had to learn, through the years. And right after high school, I had a choice to either go to college right away with a scholarship or go to the military. So I chose the military instead. And did about 10 years. And I've learned a lot through the military. And one of them was discipline and keeping in shape. So Greater Culture has offered, great facility to work out, and it's close to my house. So here I am.
That's very convenient. Yeah. So when you were 14, where did you move to originally here in the States?
We actually moved. Okay, my whole family's here, and they all moved to Texas. My mom decided to go to the smallest state in the United States, and in the middle of winter, when I moved, and it was snowing and everything. So it's the state of Rhode Island. Yeah. And when I arrived, which was pretty awful for me because I was 14, I was a teenager, had my friends in Colombia. Usually around this time, we throw down parties. Yeah. And she decided to bring me here when I was like in the middle of the Christmas celebration, which is at December 24th.
Yeah.
She wanted me to be her Christmas present, but instead it was like a nightmare for me. I arrived in New York because Rhode Island doesn't have an international airport. So I arrived in New York. I had no idea what I was doing. I was just blinded. Yeah. I did not know anything. And didn't know snow either. So we got stranded in New Jersey because of the snow. And it was just awful. It was an awful experience for me. Yeah. I know I was glad to be with my mom and my family, but it was just not a different experience.
Yeah, that's a culture shock.
Yes.
To go from not just Colombia, but then to go to Rhode Island. Yes. Like that's a big one.
Yeah.
And so once you settled in and found your way, how long were you in Rhode Island for then?
To be honest, I don't remember. Yeah. I was like, I want to say about 10 years or over 10 years.
Okay.
And then I got married, had a kid. Well, actually, I have 3 kids with my previous marriage. Yeah. And then I met my husband here, and he had a kid too. So we merged together, and then we had our son. But yeah, when I moved from Rhode Island to here, it was also different because obviously you go from a state that has all 4 seasons to here that is like weather on crack.
Especially lately where it's been like 30 to 40 degree swings day by day here. Yes. It's been crazy. So when you joined the military, did that cause you to move around a little bit then as you were there? Or what was that experience like?
I had the option to be National Guard. Mm-hmm. So I did the 1 week a month. Yep. I was what is called a weekend warrior.
Yeah.
So in the meantime, while I was doing that, I was going to school. Okay. And I went for civil engineering. So that's what I do. After I did my 10 years with the military, it was between either my husband continue his military career or for me staying home, or as both of us deploying together. And then who's going to watch the kids? So I didn't want to just leave my kids to my parents or his parents. So I drew the short stick.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
I stayed home, and I already had a career in the civilian world. So my husband's still in. Actually, he's retiring next year.
Nice.
So yeah.
Very cool. And so along this time, did you play any sports or have any kind of an athletic background as you were?
To be honest, I mean, I was heavy in volleyball when I was in high school, but in soccer. But other than that, because I joined the military right away, didn't really pursue that in college. But when I did go to basic training, it was funny though, because there was the unit that I was with, they were doing a soccer tournament. So they found out that I was playing soccer, and they put me in immediately, and we won the tournament.
Did you?
And it was funny because typically you don't get weekend passes until after a certain amount of time that you're there. And because we won the tournament, I was granted a weekend pass. So everybody was so jealous about that.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure they were buying you rounds at the bar when they figured out that you were the one who helped them out there.
Definitely.
Yeah. So. And so obviously being a part of the military, there's certain standards you have to hit around running and sit-ups and things like that. So that kept you in shape, I imagine, a little bit. And then as you started to venture out into your career, what did health and fitness look like for you as you were kind of figuring out, you know, being a mom and having a career and the military on the weekends? What did that look like?
That's a lot to balance. I had to, it was ups and downs, obviously. And there was times that I just felt like I needed to do something for myself because I was just not happy for what I was seeing in the mirror. And my nutrition was not the greatest. I fluctuated a lot, and it's just, you know, that's life. So I found CrossFit after I had my son, and it changed me drastically. I lost the weight, the baby weight within a year, and I was doing great. But then I wasn't having the proper nutrition, so I was failing on that. So I was getting hurt a lot. I was not being really, you know, cautious, and then I stopped and started getting the weight back on, and having issues in body areas that I just didn't had before. So it was like the shoulder, the knees, the back, and all that fun stuff. But then I started working into like learning more about nutrition, incorporating that with my workout, you know, routine, and it's been helping tremendously. So I'm really glad that finally learning. You know, it took me only 40 plus years to figure that out.
Well, and it's funny too, because a lot of times when we want to get back in shape or lose weight, our first thought is to go to the gym, which is great. It's fantastic to start moving your body and lifting weights. But what we realize is if we don't have the nutrition piece, then even going to the gym 5 days a week, probably not going to see some of those results. And so what are some of the things you've learned about nutrition that have helped you now, would you say?
Portion control, big time. I can, like, for me, what has helped me is, you know, I can eat whatever I want as long as it's a moderate, you know, a portion. And also I've been practicing lately fasting. So I started with a 14-hour fasting, and that has helped like so much with the cravings and the amount you eat too. So it's like I'm learning how my body is reacting to a lot of these things, and like I'm seeing the results that I want, but I'm also seeing the results at the gym. So it's like it's helping me in a way. I know it doesn't help everybody. Everybody's different, but this is what I finally like found something that really is working for me.
Yeah, I love that. And I think for a lot of folks, that's one of the biggest places to start is just how much am I eating? Because I think here in the United States, everything, the portions are huge everywhere you go.
Oh my gosh, you go to Texas, it's ridiculous. It is like everything is so big in Texas.
It is.
Literally, that's what it is. And like I see, like we go to restaurants and you know, places like that they, you know, serve them mountains of food. And I just look at them like, if I eat this and that, incorporate my foods, carbs, and my protein, I'll be fine. I don't need to eat the whole plate in one sitting. You know, like I can just like, you know, small portions and everything. I can still have my wine. I can still have my, you know, my drinks here and there. But everything in moderation.
Yeah. And coming from Colombia, I don't know if, you know, thinking back then to now, was it a change of pace, like nutrition and what you eat wise? Because I imagine, you know, talking to a few folks from Colombia, the cuisine and what you typically have there, very different than probably what you're eating in Rhode Island and New Jersey. So like, what was that process like of going from one to another?
I can only speak for myself.
Right.
Like my family, we all had a ranch, and on our ranch we grew all our things pretty much. Like our meat came from our cattle, our fruits, vegetables, everything came from the ranch, from everything that we picked up. So we ate very clean food, like nothing had preservatives and nothing, everything was just clean. So that helped. And we also only had like one big meal a day. Like it was pretty much lunch, or like lunch leaning into dinner. But for breakfast or for like dinner, it was very, very small portions. So I think there was no like, oh, you had to have a set meal. You know, it was more like the set meal is lunch, because that's going to give you, you know, enough nutrients to continue for the day or whatever. But I think that's what that was, and being everything so natural, like nothing had any preservatives, nothing. So you come here and all you see at the stores and everything just full of all this other ingredients that you don't even know or how to pronounce. So it's like, yeah, it's a big change.
It's fascinating because I feel like so many people are so jealous of hearing that, of like, wait, you got to just like grow your own food and have your own meat and it was all clean. And it's like, that's the dream, is to be able to just have all that. And so I imagine that transition, especially in those high school years, was tough. And then figuring out like, okay, well, how do I navigate this? And then you start figuring out, okay, career and life and mom and all those other things. And now it becomes tough. So when it comes to the nutrition journey, was it a lot of you just kind of researching on your own? Did you end up working with somebody one-on-one? What was that like?
Yeah, well, the majority was research on my own because I'm stubborn. I don't like to listen to people sometimes. But I'm learning to actually listen nowadays. So yes, I did a lot of research on my own because I'm the only one who knows what works for me. People can advise me and tell me, oh, you should do that, you should do that. But if it doesn't work, it's not going to work. But I did end up having a program that I follow. I actually last year to get prepared for the Fittest of the Coast. It helped a little bit, but not quite. The numbers were a little bit weird because you had to count macros and all that, and it was kind of hard at the moment. But I learned, and then I just started doing things on my own. I also talked to Chelsea a lot, and she has helped me understand a lot of like the portions and stuff like that, and clean eating and all that, and refreshing from my times that I was in Colombia. Because you forget.
I know. Oh yeah. And I love that there's obviously some research to be done on your own, then starting to work with somebody, if that certainly helps. And so there's a lot of avenues and ways to help get you there. So when it comes to CrossFit, you've been doing it for a little while now. How long would you say you've been doing CrossFit?
Steadily, 8 years.
8 years?
I want to say 8 years now.
Yeah. And I know you've been with Greater Culture now for a little over a year or so, but what are some of the things that you like most about just CrossFit in general, of why it's been something you've gone back to for the last 8 years as your way of fitness?
I think how accommodating you guys are. Like seriously, I feel more like family here than anywhere else. I feel welcome, and I come here mainly because of our friends. We have a group of friends that we just like push each other, to do greater. And I can't do this on my own. You had to have that family, connection. And
I can definitely relate to that. I appreciate the group class experience, because as soon as it's like, hey, come do it on your own, I'm like, it's not as much fun. Like, you kind of like drag yourself to go do it, but if you get around a group of people, it goes a lot better. We always love finding out from some of our guests some of their favorites and least favorite things. So what are some of your favorite movements if you see them programmed, you're like excited for that day?
Excited? I want to say, which is still a work in progress, is cleans. Yes, I love cleans. I love doing cleans. Just, sometimes I lose technique.
That's always
going heavy.
It's a never-ending journey.
Yeah, but I mean, that's like one of the ones that I enjoy the most. I know where you're going with the least.
The least. So you already know. So what are some of the ones that are your least favorites?
Wall balls.
Wall balls, really?
Big time. Okay. I cannot stand wall balls. I love to hate those things. When you program them in our workouts, I just cannot. Like, I really start rolling my eyes. I'm like, oh no.
It's such a love-hate relationship with that. Some people really enjoy squatting. Some people like deadlifting. Some people like doing gymnastics. But wall balls are very like polarizing. Some people like love them. Some people hate them. And then in terms of the style of workout, do you like a really short, fast, kind of intense workout, or do you like a longer, kind of slow, chipper style? What are your favorite types of workouts? Chipper, like a little bit longer one?
Yeah, the longer one. I don't know. I feel like I get more of intensity.
It feels like you're going to bigger sweat, do work for longer.
I mean, I sweat a lot. And I don't know if I don't sweat, it's just like I didn't get a good workout. Like at least to break the sweat.
Well, I imagine too, having that soccer background to some extent, and things like those longer, kind of just smooth and steady type of workouts are nice. And so you mentioned Fittest of the Coast and doing some of those things. What are some of the goals that you've got for maybe the upcoming year as you start to think about being in this for 8 years now, continuing to focus on your own nutrition and things like that? What are you excited or trying to work towards over the next year now?
Well, I finished this year with running a half.
Yes, that was awesome.
I was really excited, nervous, and I'm probably not going to do it anytime soon, but that was one of my goals for prepare me for the next year. Me and Eileen, we teamed up for the Fittest of the Coast, and we placed. So we are shooting for what we are going.
Yep. That'll be in February.
February, at the end of February. And so we're excited for that. Yeah. And that's what we're waiting for the workouts to come out so we can actually start training or towards it.
Yeah, same. I think in January is when they're going to start releasing some of those workouts. Excited to see what some of those are. And it's always fun to have a group of people head down and compete. So that's pretty cool to have CrossFit be the foundation, but then still be able to go out and do a half marathon. That's incredible. What was that experience like?
That was crazy. Well, I originally started with a 10K. So we did I did the 10K with a couple of folks from my office. And then I got motivated to do a half. And then there was a half like 2 weeks after that 10K. So I only had 2 weeks literally to prepare for that, for the half. And did pretty good. I think my pace was like 10:30 for overall, but I ended up going pretty good first 7 miles. Then 8, 9, 10 came and gassed. I was just gassed because I'm not used to. I didn't train enough for it. I didn't prepare myself like to know that when you're running that long, you're going to need better nutrition and drink the proper stuff for it.
Yeah, because it's basically double a 10K. Yes, it's twice as long now.
By the 10th mile, I was just not having it. That's where my pace decreased significantly, and I just like,
let's just finish. Just finish.
I just want to finish.
Yeah,
I'm like 3 miles to go.
Yeah. Well, it's an incredible accomplishment either way. So really cool to have the motivation to say 10K. All right, let's double it, and 2 weeks later, do the half marathon.
Yes, I know, and everybody tells me I'm crazy. I'm always pushing myself to do like the craziest things, but I'm like, if I don't, then what am I going to do? Why not?
Why not put this fitness to the test?
Exactly.
Yeah. And so you've been here with Greater College for a while. I've been doing CrossFit for a while. And I know one of the things we like to ask people is, there's probably folks out there who maybe are a little intimidated or a little bit scared or maybe worried about jumping into a class. Or they hear CrossFit and they're like, ooh, it's really intense or scary. Would you have any kind of advice or words of wisdom for somebody who's like, man, I really want to work on my fitness. I don't know if CrossFit's for me. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but I'm kind of curious to try. Anything you'd say to them?
No, I'm always telling my friends, I'm like, I do CrossFit and it's so much fun. And they're always, like you said, they're intimidated because they think, oh no, those are just crazy weights and crazy exercise. I'm like, no, not really. We modified a lot. There's no, just jumping into